is a mask. Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we are, because we're going beyond the range of strange, where the outrageous is contagious, and the paranormal is the new normal. Yes, sirree. And I'm getting number 2 as my lucky number. Hello, Operation Shutdown. Dramatic music, yes. And it's duty free. So that's a really good thing about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the same intro music I had for my show on Blog Talk Radio back in the 2007, 2008, 2009 period. I had a show over there. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share this show out to my Facebook friends because I still haven't figured out how to do that ahead of time, like all these other YouTubers. You know, it just, I don't, some of this stuff, I don't know about it. We are live. Simple message, call in. And I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. It's sure is getting cold out. I'm thinking I need to buy a new shovel this year. My old shovel's not doing so good. Hello there, Catherine Weiss. Good to see you here. Yeah, probably need a new shovel this year. You know, I always wanted to invent a shovel that would like blow hot air and maybe even, you know, shoot out salt or something, or like a flamethrower. But I think then you just start your car on fire by accident, and that would be worse than scraping a little bit of ice, you know? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Well, I was watching Red Pill 78 tonight, and he had as a guest Jack Maxey, and he has a copy of the Hunter Biden laptop, and he was talking about quite something else. I'm telling you, wow, really something else. All of the crimes, so many he can't even count. You know. Enough crimes to put Hunter away for decades. But of course, you know, normal laws don't seem to apply to Hunter Biden because the FBI had his laptop in what, 2019 or earlier? And they did nothing. And also you can hear Hunter himself on the laptop saying that, you know, someone that he was with said, "Don't you, you know, we're a little worried about, you know, filming yourself doing all these drugs and with all these hookers?" He said, "Well, it doesn't really matter. Russia already stole one. Russia already has one of my laptops." So he admits that Russia has one. So isn't that interesting? But now anybody else would be, you know, what, in prison, right? Somehow he's protected. I guess when you have like a criminal, a long-standing criminal family that's in politics, and is corrupt, then that's what happens. You get protected, and you get to sell art for $500,000 a copy when you've never done art before in your life, and you're just blowing paint through a straw. Yeah, that's Seems a lot logical and reasonable. Hello, Dark Brain. Yeah, welcome. This is the 102nd episode. You know, on the on the title of the program here, I put, number 102, and then they highlight the number 102 as if it's a pound, like a hashtag. Well, sometimes the number just means number. Apparently, they don't know this. I don't know. Maybe if you're supposed to hit something where, I don't know. So maybe we'll get more viewers then. All the 102 people will come over. Well, I hope you're all having a good day today. I had a interesting email from Q Trendsetter today. So that was very interesting. We might get into that a little later. We'll see if he shows up. And we might get into that. But, well, to start this off, let's just start this right off. Well, I got to give the information to call in. So if you want to call in, feel free to. Here is the information. There's that. And now everybody is always raving about that one-tap mobile thing. So we got to get that here for all the fans of that. That one-tap mobile crowd that loves that. There you go. Looky there. Hello, Robert. Here for the 102 group party. That's a good one. Yeah. Wow. I think we struck on something. Maybe all the episodes will be 102 from now on. Seems to be a popular item. I'm not sure what it correlates to. Maybe we should look into gematria and find out. Well, the first thing I want to show you, friends, is this little humanoid-looking thing. I don't know if it's humanoid-looking. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you can tell me. Here it is. Now, here is the mummified remains of this little creature. Now, Jaime Maussan over there down in Mexico was kind of overseeing the research on this poor little fella that died. But so they did DNA samples on this guy. He's very small, fits in the palm of your hand, only inches tall. He's all curled up. He's got teeth. Look at those teeth. They said that the DNA from this that they extracted from the lab that did the DNA test, 98 point something % human, apparently. You know, found in Mexico. I think this is from Mexico. And there was one other thing that they also had tested was this fairy. Let me show you the fairy. Now, I don't know. Do you think that's really human? Maybe to be alive on this planet and to be a mammal, you have to be a certain percentage like a human, right? I don't know. But there's this other curious thing. This is from, a few years ago. Too late for the 101. Yeah, you know what? You all might not remember this, but in the olden days, here is this fairy creature, and they even x-rayed him. And look at that. So here's this thing, this kid, this 13-year-old kid sees this on the side of the road in Mexico. And he contacts Jaime Maussan and says, hey, I think I got something for you. It was freshly dead, like it just got hit by a car or something. And so there it is. What is it? And it was in formaldehyde so long that they couldn't extract any DNA. But it does show a skeletal structure. But it's got these like little white dots. They're not sure what that is. Maybe it's super glue, because if this thing broke, they'd probably super glued it. I don't know. But it looks like it was a real creature at some point. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Hello, celestial soul. Good to see you here. Austin Morris, good to see you here too as well. Yeah. So that's a very interesting, curious case, wouldn't you say? I would tend to think so. So has anybody seen any fairy creatures like this flying around? Looks like it had wings. So apparently this thing could fly. But they said it wasn't anything human, nothing mammal. What is it, an insect then? Did they check that? They didn't say. So what is it? It's not a mammal. So who knows? It's been soaking so long in formaldehyde. There's no DNA left to see. That's too bad that does that. Maybe they should think of a new kind of a fluid. Maybe something that preserves things. There'd be an idea. I heard that doctors, when they take small biopsies, they can put little samples in wax, and that seals them and kind of like preserves them in this wax. No air can get to it. Maybe that's what they should do with these things, put them in wax. Hey, Robert Peterson, that's pretty funny. Let me see if I can get this so I can read it better. Okay, yeah. People think things like don't exist, but you'd find more bodies, but maybe they just taste real good. Yeah, maybe they're crunchy. We had a dog, Carmel. She just loved those grasshoppers. She crunched those things down. Tinkerbell. Yeah, I think it's Tinkerbell's like uncle or something, right? Grumpy uncle. He looks kind of grumpy. He's got a big lower jaw. He's got a very similar jaw to Beavis, actually. Could be related to Beavis. Don't you think? I think. Look at that bottom jaw there. Looks like Beavis. Could be. I saw something interesting today. And that was a little live, I think it was from today, that I got the images from. A live docking in space. And so I got some images that I grabbed. So, and this is for all you flat earthers too. Check this out. Okay. I'll use this to make like a straight line for you flat earthers. Okay. Here's a straight line. All right. Notice how the earth is like touching this part of the line, and over here, it's not. That's because there's a curve to the earth. Okay. And it's not a fisheye lens, because look at this line down here. It's just totally straight. And it's straight with this. It's all straight. It's not a fisheye lens. I looked at it. I examined it. It's not. So there you go. For all you flat earthers, there you go. And right here, you can see there is the little spaceship that's going to come and dock with the International Space Station. So it's kind of cool. But notice how you don't see any stars. Isn't that interesting? You know what? I wonder. Maybe I could pump up the brightness. Pump up the contrast. No, There's no stars. Isn't that strange? How do you explain that? Why would there be no stars here? You know? Is this because Earth is so bright, it kind of, but I thought space was supposed to be like a void. I don't get it. Something's not jiving there. Oh, thank you, Celestial Soul. I always find interesting stuff. Well, you know, I have to. What else am I going to talk about, right? Yeah, somebody's got to do it. So there. And then, okay, as it got closer, you could see more detail. And you could see what this little craft looked like. And it's quite something. Let me see, where did I have that? Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's this little thing. It shot off originally as part of a rocket, and I think this is SpaceX. So I can't remember which millionaire that one belongs to. Billionaire. Okay, so there it is. I'm thinking, what is this over here? You know, I don't know. What is that? But you know what? I'm going to bring that up. Look at that. Something. Definitely something. It's not the space station, but what is it? Okay, so maybe I caught something there. What is this, folks? There's something up here too. Is this part of the space station? Anyway, the front, the top, the cone is like open, and that reveals the laser or the light guidance system to lock into the space station. So maybe this is part of the space station. Maybe, I don't know. Looks like it's just floating there, doesn't it? I mean, this is brightness all the way up. If you just put this back to normal, there you go. Isn't this kind of odd looking though? It looks like plastic, doesn't it? Looks like it's plastic. But it all worked. It docked in there. They showed a view from the inside of the craft too, and it had some astronauts and it was pretty cool. So I'll show you what that looks like. But you go look this up. It's pretty darn cool. So here it is, linked up to the space station. Okay, there it is in the space station. It looks like it has solar panels here on this. It's interesting. But look at it, it couples there, and then this thing kind of goes back to into here, I think. So very interesting. It's kind of funny with the top cone like that. That might be a design flaw because if this hinge fails, if this thing doesn't pop open, then they can't dock. So I don't know. They might want to rethink that. But I'm not sure if they've had problems with that, but that they could. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. But anyway, I was going to show you what it looked like inside of the craft. It's pretty cool. And it's kind of like what it looks like inside here on my spaceship. Looks kind of the same. It's kind of like my view. It's kind of like what I see when I'm looking out doing the show. There you go. I only have one screen, not three. Look at that. And like that, there's two astronauts here. I think there was like 3 or 4 of them in there altogether. But it looks like fun, huh? It's like they're playing Pong or something, you know? Some advanced version of Pong here. biding their time, playing Ms. Pac-Man, possibly. No, I'm sure they're not. They can't go home either? Oh, really? Oh, you think it's just some loose dust cover? That could be. You gotta, whenever you see something like that, you have to look at it with critical eyes, figure out what it is, what it could be, and start figuring it out. Yeah, I know. You're right, Mad Podge. No point entertaining the flat earthers. That whole thing is a psyop, not worth the time. I agree. I even did a meme for the flat earthers, and if anybody's watched the show for any length of time, you've probably seen it. Didn't have a glass cockpit. No. Yeah. I challenged the astronauts to a game of Ms. Pac-Man. That's right, Operation Shutdown. They probably do play that. I mean, wouldn't you? I think it'd be good. I'd do it. But it looks like fun, huh? Hey, there you go. Maybe if you're looking for a job, you could, work for SpaceX and be an astronaut. Astronaut. How about that? Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut. There you go. You could be one. A space cadet. You could be up there, floating around, floating around, and there's a lot of problems in space, folks. It's not super fun. Okay, it's kind of a drag sometimes. But I think for when you go on space missions, I think that people should fast while they're up there. That way, they don't have to feed them. It'd be a lot cheaper, right? Just fast the whole time. There you go. That's my suggestion. You could lower the price of it on the whole thing. You don't have to feed them now. Aaron had that great idea. Just make them fast for as long as the thing is. Yeah. Or maybe don't tell them they're fasting, but just their food locker, make it so the lock malfunctions and they can't get it open until after a certain point. So it kind of forces them to fast. Maybe you wouldn't want to do that though. They wouldn't go next time then. Nah, you wouldn't want to do that. Can't think of all the angles though. So it looks like fun, doesn't it? I think it'd be a fun job. Oh, Dark Brain says I'm automatically distrustful of NASA photos and vids due to clearly fraudulent past vids, but maybe this one is legit. Yeah, could be. Yeah, I like the one where who was it? Elon Musk. Um, they had a rocket and it's up in space and they're showing it, and all of a sudden they show a mouse running like right on the hot rocket. I mean, if it really was a mouse, for one thing, it would be floating off into space. It wouldn't be like gravity stuck to the. Yeah, and I also heard he didn't really put that car into orbit. That was all fake. Is that true? So hard to tell these days, you know? There's so many points of view out there floating around, being propped up by this or that. And those flat earthers are something else, I got to tell you. And I think I just need to find that find that. Oh, meme or that. Yeah. Okay. Where is it, folks? Come on. All right. Uh-oh. I bet I can guess who that is. Hello, this wouldn't be Maxwell Smart, would it?
Yes, indeed.
All righty then.
How are you?
Well, if I was doing any better, I'd be you.
That's quite a trick.
So what's new?
Oh, not a whole lot. I've been noticing the secret message in Trump's message.
Okay.
Where he says Happy Veterans Day. If you add all the digits of each word, the first word happy is 66. The second word veterans is 104. And of course, day is 30. So if you add 66 and 104, you get 170, which, or 17 plus 0. So that's the letter that we're used to. And then, of course, day is 30. So there's Q space 30 that we've been told in the drops before,
mm-hmm.
as well as the same thing all the digits add up to for where we go one, we go all.
Mm-hmm.
So we still have the question is, what does that really mean? Which nobody has the answer for at the moment. But I was thinking about this. Maybe also something else is encoded there. I thought, happy, and then I looked at 104. You could take the 0 out, which would make it 14. Happy 14 day, which didn't mean that much. Or happy 1430. I said, I guess that could mean 14 days, 30 days from the 14th, which would be December 14th. But no special reason for that. Then I started looking at the digits and said, okay, 66, 6 plus 6 is 12. Could that be December? And then 104, 14, December 14th. And then 30, which is also 3. I said, the year 21 adds the 3, 2 plus 1 is 3. So I said, could it be December 14th, 12, 14, 21? I don't know. I mean, so I said, okay, let's add those up together. Let's say, okay, we got 12 plus 14 is 26. And of course, I'm just double checking to see if it's Q30. Well, remember the base energy, God energy is 8. And then the next, not chord, what is it, octave up is 17, which also adds to 8. And then the next one beyond that is 26. So it's the same. 26 is also equivalent in this V map to 17. So again, it's Q, and then the 21 adds to 3. So it can be Q30.
Okay.
So
2:30 again.
is that the date? Who knows? I'm cautious to guess. I mean, say one way or another. There's not enough information to know what the real day is yet.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I did think it was interesting that the Q30 was encoded into the message.
That's interesting.
So that's kind of the only thing that I've got going on. You know, I thought it was very good for us to get a positive message from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. Short.
I'm sure that
Better than what Biden ever gave. I mean,
yeah. But at least we got positive. It's a very positive message that, you know, he would be back and things are going to get better. And can't remember exactly what he said, but
well, you know, I wonder how long it's going to be before everyone here stateside is going to be wondering when we are going to be blessed with a long and loud, flatulent presidential fart. And why is that just for the overseas people? Now, I have up on the screen here my little, one of my favorite memes. I just found this image on the intranet and I added all the words to it. It's two fleas in the back of a dog. One flea says, I say the dog is flat. And the other flea says, I say the dog is dog shaped. It's the flat dog theory. They have members all around the dog. So that's my meme to kind of poke fun at our brothers and sisters who are obsessed with trying to convince us all of something we don't even care about. The flat earth theory. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I say.
So what else have you been talking about?
Oh well, we showed some little creatures that Hami Musan was studying a few years ago, and posted some of the results of that. So we're going over some of those little creatures. One looked like a fairy with wings, and they X-rayed it, but it was in formaldehyde so long it had no retrievable DNA. Which, if that's the case, shouldn't they be looking for another substance to store, you know, specimens in? You know, because that stuff didn't smell very good either.
No.
You know what I found out? My son, when he was in school, one of his teachers, they were looking at little, I think, parts of like a chicken in formaldehyde, and there was like a chicken gizzard or something, or some part of a chicken, and the teacher dared my son to eat it, and he ate it with formaldehyde. I think that's how it went. I'm not sure. Maybe the teacher didn't know about it. I might be getting that wrong. If AJ, if you're listening, let me know. But I thought, what?
Did he do it?
I think he did.
Oh, that's awful.
Maybe it was just a story he was telling so he could sound cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just hope so. I don't think that'd be very good for you at all.
No. Yeah. Well, it was a long time ago. He survived that.
I had
maybe now he's immune to everything now.
I had to do all those dissections in the past, you know.
Oh yeah, I did not take
from the earthworm to cat.
I didn't take biology. I took earth science because I did not want to do dissections. I did enough of that when I went fishing. It disgusted me.
I had plenty of friends that went off to medical school, and they were talking about the fun. It's one thing to dissect cats and whatever, but they had to work on humans.
Oh boy!
When you go to medical school, you know, you have to learn all the parts.
Right? Yeah.
That's just, you know, it definitely was very difficult.
Oh yeah.
You know, they do a lot of things, like to make doctors get over their queasiness about the human body.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had to give a physical examination to their partner who they just met. So they said that was really difficult the first time for most people anyway.
Yeah.
He said, well, you can't be squeamish about this. You're going to have to do it in, you're a doctor. You have to give a physical examination. But it was, so.
Yeah. The doctor I don't like seeing is that Dr. Ben Dover. I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And his partner, Dr. Jellyfinger's no fun either. Watch out for that guy. Watch out for that guy. So, okay. Austin says the only thing I ever dissected was a frog. Yeah, I went fishing, so I guess I cut up a lot of fish, but I never dissected animals. I thought it was too weird. I took the alternative. I took life science. I didn't want to cut up animals. It wasn't. That's why I stopped fishing. It was just disgusting to me. It's like I don't want to do it.
It's real difficult for me anymore I love the fish, but it's to see the fish in pain right now. I mean, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then of course I used to fillet the fish. It's just too hard for me to do it anymore.
Yes.
We used to be quite the avid sportsman, but I've gotten so in my older age it's hard for me to do that.
Dark Brain says he dissected a turtle in school. Shouldn't you have waited till the turtle was done with school before you dissected him? And Austin Morris says, my girlfriend was in a biology class where they were supposed to dissect a dog right after they euthanized it first. She quit the class. She quit the class, and then she quit the medical school rather than participate. Well, good for her. Yeah, if you can't handle it, don't do it. Don't force yourself to do something that your gut tells you is not good. I don't care what the pay is. Be true to what you can do. I mean, thank goodness there are people who can do things like that, because we need doctors and stuff that aren't going to faint when they cut somebody open to help them out.
Right. But yeah, if you've done some of this before, it's not easy.
No.
You just have to prepare your mind, and I'm one of these people. I can see blood, but if I see my own blood, I pass out.
Yeah, and we all know that if we're alone on a desert island somewhere, and we need a tooth extracted, all we got to do is find an ice skate, and we can do it, just like Tom Hanks did in that movie. What was it? Where he was stranded on that island. He was a FedEx guy.
If I cut myself, and I've cut myself pretty good in the past, then I'm just fine as long as I don't keep looking at the wound. As soon as if I keep looking at the wound and the blood, all of a sudden I go, uh-oh. And that's and people are saying, what's he mean? And that's all I pass out.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't want Max to be your doctor, because he'll just pass out as soon as he cuts into you. That won't be any help at all.
I can see other blood. I just can't see my own.
Oh, if he cuts himself in surgery, here, watch out. Everybody stand back. Yeah. But what else? We're talking about surgery and whatnot, and the people who are like maskaholics, they love wearing masks and defending that. And they point to, well, doctors wear those masks. Well, yeah, they wear them in the operating room, but you know what they do in the operating room? They increase the level of oxygen in the room so they can get adequate amount of oxygen through the mask because they know it restricts the oxygen. So they make the air more oxygen rich to counter the effects of the mask. So that's something that every place that requires someone to wear a mask should be doing, filling that
Right.
room with oxygen so you can breathe it. If you're going to force them to wear something that restricts the oxygen, you have to increase the oxygen in the air. And that was an OSHA standard. What did they do? Change it? I don't know. Because your employer cannot, under OSHA rules, they cannot make you work in an oxygen deprived atmosphere. If
Yeah, I mean, I thought the HIPAA rules prevented somebody from asking you to disclose your medical information.
No, HIPAA rules are just you're not supposed to disclose if you're hip or not.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? No?
No.
Well,
Anybody know the official rules, the HIPAA rules? I know it has to do with
I think it's
your right to privacy.
I think it's just for medical people though. So a medical person can't reveal information about the patients that they're seeing.
Oh,
It only has to do with that, I think.
okay.
Apparently, at least that's what they're trying to say, oh, companies can ask. HIPAA doesn't apply to them. Well, I think it probably does, but they might be, they've been fudging the rules here for a number of years now. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, hopefully it's all going to end soon.
Yeah, it will, as long as we keep cruising like we're cruising in this spaceship, cruising far above the atmosphere in a space we like to call no fear. So there you go. High above the stratosphere.
Well, you can see they're getting weaker and weaker because so many people have awakened already.
Mm-hmm. I heard CNN might be under new management soon. Did you hear about this? CNN?
No, I didn't hear that.
Like they're being purchased? Like possibly Trump? Wouldn't that be something? And then he could change it to TNN, right? Trump News Network. Ooh, there you go.
And call it TDS or whatever. It's a taunting Trump derangement syndrome.
Mm-hmm. It's real. I've seen people with the effects of it. It's definitely real. Go ahead.
I have a sister that I was just trying to talk about the situation we're in and whatever, and be dispassionate about, and just say, okay, I want to hear your views, right? And because she didn't like it when I called, what do you mean, Commissar Biden? And I said, okay, I guess maybe that's a little unfair. I said, so let's try to keep this passionate. I says, what do you think about the situation? Do you think it's a good idea to have open borders and send people all around the country that have been unvaccinated and untested,
right,
in a pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
And we'd already specified just prior to that to leave people's names out of it, right?
Yeah.
So what does she do? She's immediately triggered and goes on a rant about Trump.
Oh yeah.
And I said, I thought we just agreed not to do that,
Right.
But they're so triggered. They're so triggered that they're going to go on the attack if they hear anything that goes against what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I know. I used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us used to be there.
Yeah. I got a picture of Emery up there again. Baby Emery. There she is. Wearing her little heart thing. So cute. So my latest granddaughter, sorry about that. I just had to show that.
Well, those are important things to see. Those things help keep us grounded.
Oh, Austin says Max was insulting all those nice commissars.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I
And
can't believe
Dark Brain's driving
my
home.
sister can't see any of it.
Yeah.
But she got the jab and
Oh, no.
Jabberwocky
Uh-oh.
and she's had blood clots now and been in the hospital, and
Oh boy.
I got out, but she refuses to even acknowledge that
Of course.
it might be related to
Right.
getting the jab.
Right. Yeah, that's
So,
a difficult thing. Very difficult. Man.
So, okay, she said if you want to stick your head in the sand and not pay attention to the world around you, that's your right,
Mm-hmm.
So, but we still love you, So, we just kind of struck a peace, I said, So what happened to my sister that used to talk to me about critical thinking and this and that, whatever? So it seems that you've let go of that,
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like that much. But
Yeah. People don't like it.
It's
People don't like it when you hold a mirror up to them. They don't like seeing themselves.
like, it's like everything. They're so touchy. You can't. You almost can't find a subject you can talk about without triggering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't bring up triggers either.
Yeah.
That'll trigger them. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Okay, now Austin says the commissars would never accept a character like Joe Biden. No, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Who would? No one asked for him. No one voted for him. At least nobody alive. Certainly not 81 million. But yeah, Red Pill, Jack Maxey was on. He's got a copy of Hunter Biden's laptop. He says there's so many crimes on there. It's just pathetic. Unbelievable. He's just flabbergasted nothing's happened. Unbelievable. If anything happens to him, it's being released in several different countries into drop boxes. So hopefully that's all covered.
Maybe
like
because of the laptop information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that laptop information was going around a long time ago.
Well, I know. And he admitted on tape on the laptop that Russia also has one of his laptops.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. Yeah. And but this is the thing. All this information, a lot of the contents were revealed, and I've told other friends about it. You can go see this information. Some of it's pretty disgusting, but
yeah, he's depraved.
It's out
Very
there,
depraved.
and yet,
He's depraved. Very depraved.
None of the media carries any of it.
No.
They pretend that none of it exists.
It's amazing. It's really truly amazing.
We've seen contents of some of the servers that H had. We'll just use her name H. Some of that's been released. People had that.
Right.
Where it was revealed that a lot of the 80,000 emails, or some portion of them, were revealing secrets about our most sensitive military projects.
Mm-hmm.
All that was online for people to see some of it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think maybe we should bring some of those up again. So I'm glad to see that Red Pill's doing that for all the new people that have awakened that
Yeah.
never had the benefit of seeing some of that
Mm-hmm.
or hearing about some of that, because it helps, because the people are asking, well, where's the proof? And well, the proof's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back. You have to go look back farther and you'll find it.
Yeah. Well,
People are so busy and don't have the time to do that. So.
Well, there's so many interesting things going on, like the trial of the century. I've got a little meme up. It's got a picture of Kyle, the person who's being that shouldn't even be on trial. He's clearly self-defense. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial has just proved to the world that BLM are criminals, the media lies, and that Kyle acted in self-defense. Oh yeah, very clear. He's a very honest looking kid, seemingly very honest. Reminds me kind of Bud on Father Knows Best, very upstanding little young man. And I hope that I hope that he is set free with very minimal charges for whatever minor gun offenses that he might have been in violation of. But by all accounts, he's a very respectable young man, respectful too.
Yeah.
So he was willing to go into a dangerous situation to try to help people, and he gets dragged through the mud for it, just for defending himself against criminals who were let out of prison and jail, and in one case in an institution that morning. By who?
Yeah.
Maybe the FBI?
Isn't that crazy that anyone would say it's a good thing to just let the prisoners loose?
Right. Well, when they want mayhem.
That's like straight out of the Batman movie.
Yeah, they want mayhem. They want that. They want it as much as they can get, so they can call in the UN and, we need the UN to come and save us because we've defunded our police and let all the prisoners out, and now for some odd reason we've got crime. Well,
yeah,
it's just like you said. It's like a really bad B movie, like a really poorly written script for the bad guys.
Yeah, it's and they didn't think other people would notice, including Democrats.
Yeah, that's why 20 or 30% of the people at Trump rallies are Democrats.
Yeah,
the smart ones.
And folks, we got to remember these recent election victories.
Yeah,
the red wave is actually due to predominantly Democrats. So
yeah, the walk away movement. The walk away movement.
Not a me versus our thing.
It's the walk away. So many people walked away because it doesn't represent anybody except the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ people. That's the only people. And that's like 0.0001% of the population. So that's who they are clinging to.
Well, that's the most important thing.
Of course.
And everything else is racism.
Oh, man. It's so stupid.
Everything else you talk about, that's racist.
It's so stupid.
The roads are racist.
You know,
we got to pull up all these highways because they're racist.
You know what? There was a saying back in the old days that they used to tell people: if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. But the dividers will never do that. They'll just keep dividing. They'll keep dividing.
Well, people will notice after a while. They're like, "No, this is not right.
Mm-hmm.
Why is everything racist?" And, they start to understand what they're doing. Even the people that supported them start to say, "This guy's nutsy cuckoo,"
Mm-hmm.
Or worse, they're not nutsy cuckoo. They're doing this on purpose. When that suddenly hits their mind, they're like, "Oh no."
Mm-hmm.
Some of them know exactly what they're doing. That's when it really hits them.
Yeah. Hey, Cajun Jules.
Trying to destroy the country.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Cajun Jules. Cajun Jules joined us. She was over there.
And the more calm and collected and fearless the Patriots are, the better, because they try to paint them with a broad brush, saying that they're violent and all this stuff, and then when there's no violence, people say, "Wait a minute,
Yeah.
what the heck are they talking about? No violence."
I have not met anyone in this in this movement that's in the least bit violent. Not at all.
Right.
Just very common sense things.
Right.
Yeah.
I do wish a few people would be less stuck on R versus D,
Yeah.
and emphasize this about corruption versus non-corruption, good versus bad instead of.
Right.
I think because people are so readily triggered, we want a lot of these Democrats to wake up, and if we keep triggering them, it's hard for them to come over to at least fighting on our side. They don't have to become Republicans. They just have to recognize there's a great evil here and help us defeat it.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking. United Americans. We're not demanding that they change their mind about their politics.
Right.
We're just asking that they wake up and see what's being done to our country. That's all.
Yeah, we don't even have to ask them anymore. They're knocking on the door. The image I got up there now is one of those images that I created using one single image of a close-up picture of Jupiter. And Jupiter is a very beautiful planet. It's got blues, it's got browns, it's got all kinds of beautiful colors. And when you mirror it like this, you get these beautiful symmetrical designs that are just so cool. I've shown this one before, I believe, but I just think they're so cool. And it's kind of fun to look at. See what you can find in the image. I'll turn it again so we can go back. That's the way it was originally. There it is. Yeah, MacGyver says, I don't think they're crazy, they're brainwashed. Yeah. If you repeat something often enough, people will believe it. So that's what the mainstream media does, is they just repeat the same thing ad nauseum. And that's what drives me crazy at the grocery store. They're constantly this social distancing and all this, social conditioning, really, over the intercom the whole time you're shopping. It's quite something. That's brainwashing too, right there.
That's good, because I discussed it with the guy. He said, "Where's your mask?" He says, "So I've got a mask in case I need it, but there's no need for it here." It says, "Do you have your social scorecard yet?"
Yeah, right.
He's like, "What?" Says, that's what they're pushing for, is like they do in China, where you have to have a card in order to do anything, buy food, go anywhere, fly. Says, don't you see that this is how it begins? You require people to have the vaccination card, and then, to do anything. So can you see it? And the guy said, "I never thought about that." Well, think, man. Think, man. There's more going on. People are resisting for a good reason. They're not just being stubborn. They're not just,
Yeah. Well, a lot of us were there. I mean, I grew up in a very left-wing family, and we always voted Democratic. We were thinking about the Kennedy Democrats.
Right.
But you look at the Democratic Party now, it just doesn't represent anybody except the LGBTQ or STUV, WXYZ, plus, questioning, plus, more, 1,600 more every day are added onto this thing. Yeah.
And World War II Germans.
Yeah. And this infrastructure bill, it's going to help with gender equality too. Oh, that's going to help that'll really help the atmosphere. Yeah, that will really help the global warming, which is climate change, which is something that happens naturally anyway. And one belch out of a volcano is worth like 1 million years of cars, exhaust. So it really doesn't amount to a hill of beans, really.
How does it make any sense to call someone a racist because they have a different view on whether there's global warming or not?
Wait a minute. I thought a racist was someone who goes to NASCAR races. Isn't that what a racist is? Like races? Isn't that what it is?
A horse racist?
Yeah, horse races. Yeah.
A horse racist.
Could be.
Or automobile racist.
MacGyver says, I have the Invisimask. Yeah, I'm wearing the Invisimask today. I wore it.
Yeah, we all are.
I wore my shirt to Wally World again, and I got the thumbs up from that one dude, and enlightened a few more people about the Invisimask.
He probably looks for you every time you come there.
Yeah, and you know what else I do is I like to talk about when there's people with masks around me in a store. I like to bring up things like that young girl who got suspended like 68 times for not wearing a mask, and now the school just dropped their mask mandate. So she's a hero. Here's these adults wearing these face diapers. It's despicable. I mean, not despicable. It's sad. These people, man. I mean, I grew up in Minnesota where it gets very, very cold. I used to snowmobile, and I had like a face mask that would, because if your face gets exposed to that sub-zero, it can get frostbite, and your face could fall off. So you got to keep warm. So you wear these face masks, and they keep your face warm, but you can't breathe.
I thought about carrying around with me part of the box that these masks come in, because it's just the part that says what they are.
Yeah.
And then on the back it says, these masks do not stop viruses.
Right. Of course they don't.
It says, do you think this makes any sense? This is what you're wearing. Look, this is what they just handed out here at the grocery store. They're telling you to protect you against what? Viruses, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does the box back of this box say?
Yeah.
Viruses are too small. This mask will not protect you against viruses.
Right.
Now, what do you think you're really taking the mask for?
So you get bacterial pneumonia, because that's who died more during the 1918 pandemic. More people died from bacterial pneumonia from wearing the masks. The unmasked were burying the masked, and that's what they're doing again. They're trying to make it happen again. But I think what's different between 1918 and today is that people can clean things better. They have more access to like washing machines and things, so they can wash their masks. Back then they couldn't, so they got bacterial pneumonia more, I think, because they didn't wash them as much.
Right.
Maybe that's one of the reasons, but for whatever reason, I think it is having an effect now.
Oh yeah, it does. It has right now. It has some positive, but not to the extent that it's really effective.
No,
and it has
a
lot of negatives.
Okay? Lots of negatives. Yeah, that's why I invented the Invisimask. You've got it on
fair, It certainly does not justify destroying the greatest country on Earth's economy.
No.
And there's no proof that they work.
No, it's just part of their fever dream to take control. And you can control, if you can get them to wear a mask, you can get them to do anything. It's just like,
and you make these rules that say only companies that employ more than 100 people can unload the ships
Mm-hmm.
and carry the cargo from the ships. They won't let independent truckers go in and get them.
Right.
Why? Because they know full well that enough people are going to resist what they're doing that they're going to quit, which means there are fewer people to unload these things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And people got to be seeing through this laughable responses as why can't you do anything more to get this stuff delivered? And they say, oh well, it's really we're delivering it much faster. It's just the demand is so high.
Yeah. Well,
it's a bunch of malarkey.
It is a bunch of malarkey, and it what it comes down to is we need to be as prepared as we can be, and that's why, I was prepared when this pandemic happened, because one of the things that people found was a difficult thing was getting your hair cut, right? Because they closed all the barbershops and beauty shops across the country. So I looked on Craigslist. This was before the pandemic, and I found a hairstylist that actually is here all the time. And whenever I want a haircut, I get a haircut from her. Her name is Flo, and I want you to meet her right now. Okay, I want you to meet my hairstylist. Floby.
Yeah, that was
Floby. Yes, it's the famous Floby, folks. And you too can cut your hair in no time, because this sucks as it cuts. Yes, just like what they did on Wayne's World. But this is the real thing, baby. So it sucks your hair, and you can put these little things on to make the length longer or shorter. And it cuts to a certain length. That's what I use to cut my hair. And it does a fabulous job, I gotta say. And I always make sure I tip Flo, because she does such a good job on my hair. Floby,
yeah.
the famous Floby. Look it up. You can find a deal. I think I paid $40 for this from a bald guy.
Well,
I bought it from a bald guy.
They discovered that human hair is one of the best things for cleaning oil slips, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
Well, this one hairdresser is the one that first showed the proof. He took some old motor oil from his car, and he had a little baby tool out the back,
Mm-hmm.
one of those little tiny. But he bought it just for that purpose, and he says, "Now watch. I'm going to put drops of this oil and look at the scum it makes on the surface of this tool, right?"
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Now what? What happens when I drop this wad of human hair in the middle of the pool? All the oil goes straight to the hair."
Okay. Wow.
And later, actually, a large lab tested it and determined it is one of the best, most effective things at cleaning up oil spills.
Human hair, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you clean the hair up then?
You can probably just burn it.
You put a bunch of oil on it. Put a bunch of oil on it, and it sinks to the bottom.
I wouldn't recommend there's enough hair to clean up a major oil slick, but it might in fact be useful once you got most of it up to put it out there in kind of like pillows like things and let it suck up the remnants.
Well, couldn't they clone the hair and kind of like manufacture it into long strings and like fishing line or something?
Probably.
So here's the end that goes into your.
Yeah.
Here's the end that goes into your vacuum cleaner. And then it's got a little place here where you plug in the power source for the blades inside here, and so there you go. I gotta tell you,
I once sold this.
Max.
There's a man-made material called it's a polymer, polytertiary butyl styrene.
Okay.
And that material is amazing. I saw it once on a lake. They were demonstrating it was the newest thing at the time. I saw it them to test this at a marina, a floating marina. So you know, out here we have all kinds of problems. You know, people are using bilge pumps, right, to pump water on the boat, and of course there's lots of oil residue in the boat, and they're like, to keep it from becoming a major problem in the lake, killing the fish or whatever, or a major gasoline spill, they take this polymer and they throw it on the water, and all the oil goes straight to it. And the same way the gas, if it's a gas spill, it goes straight to this polymer, and they can just haul the polymer mats out of the water.
All right.
And then they just, rather than try to recycle them, they just take it to an incinerator.
Okay.
And use it for fuel.
Wow.
But it's quite amazing that certain polymers just, they float, these polymers float on the water, and they just sit there and suck up the gasoline that's on the surface, you know?
Okay.
And they're quite, and they swell up. There might be a 1/4 inch thick mat when you stick it on the water, and this thing gets about 8 inches thick.
Wow.
Feels, you know, and they just pull this giant, they have this like roller thing. And it's, you know how the old, what is it, the old ringers that you used to handheld, you know, that you turn the crank that the old days they used? They get water out of the laundry.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got my fingers stuck in that once. That hurts.
It's kind of like that. What they do is they roll this stuff up there, and this ringer wrings out as much of the gasoline into a tank, and they can use it over and over again if it's kind of immediate, right? They can put that thing back on the water if there's more gasoline to soak up.
Okay.
After they wring it out. And they do that. It's pretty impressive. The first time I saw it, I was just, whoa, what is that? I just happened to be at a marina at the time. They were doing a fire safety test, and you know, I don't know what kind of inspector. There's some kind of inspector there. Said, well, what are you going to do about a gas spill or oil spill? And I said, okay, here's what we do. And they put 5 gallons of gas out there just poured it on top of the water. And then they threw this polymer on top of it, and he says, look, what happens? And it's like in 5 minutes, it sucked up all the gas off the top of the water.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
There's some impressive things that can be done.
Yeah.
We can learn so much from nature, and so many things.
There was a kid I went to school with. He was a couple of years ahead of me. He was in my big brother's class. Chuck Clevenger. I went to school with his sister, Jana Clevenger, who was also very smart. But Chuck Clevenger, he taught me how to play chess. But he left the school halfway through the day to go to the Freshwater Biological Institute because he was doing work there. He was doing college work while he was still in high school. He was very smart. And he either developed or discovered a bacteria in swamps that eats oil. And this was back in the late 70s. So he was working on that as a student, a high school student. So I always thought that was pretty cool.
For a long time, they were isolating the blood from, which is blue blood, I guess. It's from, not starfish, what was it? Some sea creature. And it turns out it was the only thing at the time known to be able to detect a bacterial toxin in the blood. And they put 1 drop of this starfish blood in there, and it would congeal if this bacterial toxin was present. And then for a long time, they harvested and actually killed a bunch of these until they finally, an organic chemist somewhere, isolated it and figured out how to make it from scratch. And then they no longer and they no longer killed the animal. Same way with the possums. They didn't kill possums, but they were taking their blood to get this universal anti-venom out of the blood until they finally had enough research that they could actually make it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really impressive. You know, Mother Nature has lots of answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They say, I don't know, I've heard, you see this on television, like, what's that show, Dual Survival or something like that, and where they say that often where you find poisonous plants out in nature, within a few feet, there's another plant that's an antidote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's pretty impressive,
Mm-hmm.
You know, doesn't seem by accident,
Right. Yeah, that little creature that was on the screen for a while there, that was caught in a trap down near Mexico or South America. And it's supposedly has 98 point something percent human DNA, which I find difficult to believe.
Oh, the thing that washed up on the beach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Have you?
I thought that was near Lyme.
Hey, Mac.
Near Lyme, New Jersey.
Could New Jersey?
Yeah, there's a Lyme, New Jersey is right across from some kind of a government research going on this island.
Okay.
And people were thinking Lyme disease came from that island.
Oh, Lyme disease. Okay. Yeah.
The reason it's called Lyme disease is because it first broke out in Lyme, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Really?
Across from this biological weapons island,
Well, I bet you Wuhan's probably working on the lemon Lyme disease by now. That's really that's called Lyme from where it was?
Yeah,
Interesting.
L-Y-M-E, Lyme, New Jersey.
Now, Max, remember when I was talking about that holographic idea I had to put a holographic image around a motorcycle to make it look bigger and to make it look solid? Well, I'm going to show a video here. It's Hatsune Miku. Have you heard of her? Hatsune Miku. Okay, Hatsune Miku is a animated character, and there's an open source vocal program that fans can upload their own songs, and she performs them. She's performed over 100,000 songs, and some of the songs written by ordinary people are included in her concerts, and the writers of those songs get royalty checks, and she's huge. And this is a video from 2013, I believe, and it's pretty dynamic. It's only a couple minutes long, so I'll play this. Where is it?
Have you been working on your song?
I've been working on a lot of things. A lot of things, yes, and a lot of other things too. Let me see. Where is this? It's not it. Okay, I've got too many things on my desktop. There it is. Okay, here it is. So this is from 2013, June 10th. It's already had 12 million hits. And so I'm going to play this. This is a concert. Now, think about how solid she looks. She looks like she's really there. It's a very dark arena. So I'm thinking for this motorcycle concept, it might work best in the dark, but isn't that when you want people to see you the most, right? In the dark? I don't know.
Right.
But so this will give you an idea how solid a holographic projection can look. And this is from 2013. Here we go. Big star over there in Japan and all over the world, apparently. Pretty good. Well, what do you think about that? Fantastic. I don't know how that, it's probably pretty choppy on the video. I'm going to drop that into the chat so you can watch it in real time, folks, because the movement is very fluid. It looks solid. If they're doing that in 2013, just imagine what they can do now. I mean, it's incredible. Hello, Abby. Are you there, Max?
Yeah, I'm here.
What'd you think of that song?
It was interesting. Of course, being on the phone, I can't see it, but
Right. But yeah, I mean, the crowd was really active. They're like holding these glow sticks, and they're all moving them in unison. And there's a lot of crowd participation. I saw an interview they did, a little story that they did on this. I think Bloomberg did the story, and they talked to a couple of the writers that have written songs for Hatsune Miku, and the one kid said, "She doesn't have a soul. We have to give her the soul through us." So I think it's kind of a cool, interesting idea where you got this holographic projection with a vocal range that no human can even reach. She can hit notes that nobody can hit. And anybody can write a song for her and have it be a hit. I mean, that's kind of a cool idea. You know, the whole thing, it's not just that there's someone on stage that's a hologram, but there's so much more behind this that makes it a really appealing idea. Like, it's not just, you know, some guy writing songs and making a robot sing for him. It's participation. 100,000 songs. Can you imagine that?
Uh, no, I can't.
Wow.
I once was looking at a contract to make paint to go on the center line of roads.
Yeah.
That would light up.
Okay.
That would light up. It wouldn't glow in the dark. It would light up.
Uh-huh.
Because there are like 3 layers of this paint, and the people had agreed that it was going to cost about $100 a gallon to put this down at first, but it would last for, I think it was going to last for 15 years or something.
Okay.
And the whole idea is, when it gets rainy, you could easily see the line, the road, center of the road lines all the way, in the distance,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it died basically because of politicians. If you don't get politicians to immediately support your idea, then it's dead. Even though there were lots of people that wanted it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The technology is out there to do that. I worked for a while on trying to make a plastic decking that you could make it light up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, light piping. You light piping?
Until you turn the switch off. Yeah.
Okay. I got to say, Abby is in the chat here, and she said, I've been scarce because my daughter is still in town. Well, we understand that. She was scheduled to fly out tonight, and got call that my mom doesn't have long. So we have to see her in the AM. So send your prayers out to Abby's mom and her family.
Okay.
So we're sending that out to you. I'm very sorry to hear that. Well, sending our love and our prayers. There you go. Family always takes precedent. You don't have to apologize, Abby. That's beautiful. That's beautiful to be there for your family.
Thank you for trusting us with that information. I'll definitely pray for you and your mom.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we all need to help each other, friends. That's what we're here for, to help people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome, Abby. She says thank you in her heart. So yeah, we're everyone who's here right now, we're really lucky to know all these people, at this time in history. To be around, to be alive now is something else. I almost died in 2nd grade, so I'm really happy that I made it this far. I almost
even what we're going through that on the surface looks so awful is I try to impress upon people, this is for us. We're being trained. This is all under the control of God. For many years when I was growing up as a Christian, I was like, okay, how can evil exist if we've got an all-powerful God? I didn't understand at all, but now I do. This evil is for our training. It will go away. It's just to train us. We were evil too at some point, in our development. We can have empathy for these people doing these things because we were like that too at one point. That doesn't mean we have to accept it. We don't like it. We don't want it, but we can understand it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea is, why are we supposed to love our enemies? Well, it's not because we agree with what they say or what they do. It's because they're also part of God's creation. Of course, you can add to that we were there too. So So we have to be cautious, when to not hold anger, or we have to be able to forgive even these people.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive ourselves and all the things we might have done to harm someone in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And forgive others that might have harmed us in the past. That's supposedly what stops the wheel of karma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need to let go of those things, forgive ourselves and forgive others, so that we can move forward in our spiritual development. It's happening. People are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What we do in trying to improve ourselves is every bit as important as anything else we're doing to fight the evil in this world. Okay? Because as we awaken, we actually glow, and our light dispels the darkness automatically. The more of us that are awakened to what we are here for. Once you've been awake, you're not going back to sleep.
Right. I got to say hi to Q Trendsetter in the chat here. Q, I got your email, and that was a very interesting video. We'll probably be looking at that in a future show. But he says, I wanted to invent gloves for crossing guards that flash red to stop people and turn white when it's time to proceed. Early mornings when it's dark early, this may be very helpful. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, you should do that, Q Trendsetter. If someone can help them get that going, help them get that going. That sounds good. We need more ideas like that. Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah, and the technologies are changing every year. They're much higher technology. I was looking into making cloth and clothing that you could project images onto. That literally were like screen LCD technology, but as wearable.
Yeah, I think they got that.
And
now.
the idea was you could have this little flash card attached to your clothes, and you could project an image on it, and you could do the same thing like in your room of your house. You could put it's like wallpaper this actually was developed already. Wallpaper that you could put your own images on it. Imagine you said, I'm sick of that image. I'm going to put their image on my wall.
Yeah. That's cool.
Or you can put it on your ceiling. You can make it look like the stars. So you come into your room and it looks like there's no roof.
I told
you just look up the stars.
When we moved into this house, each of the kids got both my kids got their own rooms, and the house needed to be painted. So I said, okay, kids, you can paint your room however you want to paint it. And they got big smiles on their faces. So my son painted his whole room downstairs slime green.
Yeah.
And my daughter painted her room. She painted it kind of a light blue. Then she took kind of a green and a darker blue, and she took a paintbrush and she splatter painted the whole room, and it looks really cool. Actually, it looks pretty cool. She did a good job.
Mom told me I could once paint my room in the past, and I thought, well, I want a really bright color like orange, and I had this orange, and as soon as it got basically done, I said, I don't like it.
Yeah, orange can get pretty old pretty quick, can it?
Yeah.
Seems like the 70s was all orange, wasn't it? Everything was orange in the 70s. Remember those horrible cloth wall hangings with those designs on them? They're like cloth, they're printed. Yeah, it's very strange. Yeah. Lots of oranges for back then. I was going to show the latest picture of Emery one more time for some of the people who didn't see it yet. So I know people like to see baby pictures, and proud grandpapa that I am, I got to show this again. So for all the people who didn't catch it before, here's little baby Emery. There she is. She's got a little snuggly thing on and her hat. Haven't seen her yet. Hopefully soon. Looking forward to that day. And, so that's going to be good. A good time. Kids are the reason we're here, you know? So that's what it is. There she is, baby Emery, my second granddaughter. Got two grandkids, both granddaughters, Hazel and Emery. Isn't that lovely? Yes, there she is. Well, Max, it's past 1 o'clock here over in Wisconsin. I think we should probably put a cap on this thing. I know some people just got here, like Brooklyn Way. Hello there. And everybody else that is here. So glad that you're here. But I think we're going to take a little break, and we'll see you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Maybe on the weekend. It depends on what comes up. If something comes up, we'll definitely do a weekend show. Hello, Kelly George. Hello, Jacob Waters. Oh, we're just saying goodbye, and you guys are just coming on. So sorry about that, folks, but we're gonna say good night to everybody here. Good night, Max. Thanks for calling in.
Good night. You're welcome.
All right.
I'm always open to questions if someone has questions out there. I don't know what they might ask, but you know.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any.
That in mind, huh?
Usually takes about a minute to get a response because there's a little delay once you say something.
I don't necessarily mean tonight, but if they think about it, if they have questions
Right. Okay.
about something, it could be anything, technology or what's
Yeah.
going on or what.
Max is a real scientist. He's a real scientist.
Scientist.
I say scientist because I always try to pronounce the silent letters because I feel like they're being discriminated against. So.
Yeah, as long as you don't call me a Scientologist.
A Scientologist? No. No.
Not one of those.
No. No. Just a real scientist. There you go. The scientist. And skizzers. That's another fun word to say like that. Skizzers. So anyway, well, thank you everybody for coming along on this journey to find the quest for truth questers. And remember, we do have a merch shop, and I know the mods have been dropping it, and that's where I got my shirt for the Invisimask, and it's quite a conversation starter, and it can help to give people courage to take that mask off and live life as a free human as we are meant to live. So thank you again, everybody, for coming along on this journey, and keep looking into the skies. Keep your phones and your cameras trained to the skies so you can take that picture of that UFO, come onto the Truth Quest and talk about it. I'd like to thank the mods and everyone in the chat, everyone that watches, shares the program. And we'll see you next time. Peace